Is this proper attire for a Zoom call?
They say dress for the job you want.
I want to be a film director.
I'd change.
Me short film a long weekend made it into the Boston Kids International Film Festival. And because they suspected an uninvited guest named Rona might show up, they decided to do it over Zoom. This means they show all the films over the course of a Zoom call, then afterwards do a Zoom Q&A with the filmmakers, myself included. And I wanted to show you how that interview went. I found that me phone's camera was better than me computer's webcam, so I found a way to make the phone the webcam.
We're also vlogging the rest of this sort of
This party
thing here. Yeah.
So how many people are in this? Am I able to see? Here, it only shows the people who are on the panel. So is my audience in the hundreds, thousands, tens? Who knows?
Let's go thousands.
12,000.
Hundreds of thousands.
There's 2 kids, and they're 5.
I will make them proud. That's my film! That's my film!
That bee?
Oh, no, not the bee, the kids. Parts of my film were in the trailer. Presented virtually. Okay, which one's first? Which one's first? And it is not mine. Me, it's me. Or I mean, my film.
You're right, it is you!
Look at that. Looks just like me, right? Don't you just love watching the beautiful 4K footage get compressed over a Zoom call?
It's absolutely awful, Luke. What are you talking about?
But that was exactly the idea, that they're all in this together and they have to kind of work together to figure it out. And I've kind of always been intrigued by, I sort of grew up watching like the Zucker brothers.
I don't know how many people either watching or on the panel are parents, but you know, any parent who has entered that that dark zone of raising teenagers, trying to find that balance between letting them have a sense of independence, but also, you know, you being mindful of where caution is necessary is a tough one to draw sometimes. And I would say almost a bit of a comedic flip side to that, Luke, was touched upon in your film. I'm curious, are you a parent?
I am not a parent, but I am the eldest of 3 siblings, and my family has also taken in several foster siblings over the years as well. So I had a lot of experience being close to my mom while I was homeschooled, being able to see her take care of my siblings, how she raised them. So it gave me a sense of what being a parent is like.
And did you feel that, did your behavior mirror Ellie's behavior more, or were you the parental role? Who did you, as the writer, which character did you identify with more closely?
As the writer, I wrote my 10 and 11-year-old self as the lead character Ellie, and my 17-year-old self as the parents. I wrote it when I was 17, so I put that in mind with putting the lead character into a situation where her siblings treat her the same way she treats her parents, to kind of point out that hypocrisy of the same thing that I was criticizing my parents for. I was probably doing the same thing.
Yeah, I think one of the interesting elements in your film too was sort of the dependence on technology. Really, the dependence without vetting,
right?
the technology, where she just went into sort of copy and paste mode. How did that idea come to you?
Oh, the copy-paste mode. I have done that with Google Translate a few times myself, although it's not perfectly accurate. But, yeah, it was more based on the stories I had heard about what people had done with their homework, with the whole, we just look it up on the web and we copy-paste it in. And that was something I tried showing in that homework montage.
This is a question for the whole panel. Who among you used professional actors? Show of hands, maybe. So everybody but Luke. Okay. And Luke, you did not use professional actors.
No.
Wow, you got great performances from your entire cast.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. How I got about casting them is I needed, of course, actors that I could use on a no-budget short film. So I used my friend for the lead actress and her little brother as the little brother and my own little sister as the little sister. The parents were a bit more difficult to cast.
Any real-life siblings were involved.
Yeah, that's right. Real-life siblings. So that made it, for sure, easier to direct them. Although there still were some challenges with directing child actors. There's the initial intimidation of being on set for the first time that it took them a little bit to grow out of. But once they grew out of it, they got some excellent performances. Then for
Where are you located, Luke?
I am located in Redding, California. So it's about an hour south of the Oregon border.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
This is great. So, as you all know, this is a kids film festival, and we're winding it down this evening. Half of the films that are screened are made by professional filmmakers, and half by student filmmakers. And we're always interested in the advice that more established filmmakers like yourselves would have for kids. And I know that Luke, you've worked up something for us, so we'd like to hear that. And while Luke is delivering his, that'll give the other three of you time to prepare yours.
All right.
Advice for the young filmmakers, and go.
Okay, so my advice. One, I think it's inspiring that it's so much easier to make films now than it was 30 years ago. For the kids who might not know, there was a time where we had to shoot on film that would cost hundreds of dollars for just minutes of footage, and now we can shoot hordes of footage for free with our phones. But I still wouldn't say it's easy to make films because it still took me about 550 hours to make just that 12-minute short film. I did log every hour I spent, and that's about what it came down to. But my advice is that it's still worth the time spent because, one, that's what we filmmakers want to do for a career. We all say when we're kids, I want to be an astronaut, I want to be a fighter. For me, I said I want to make movies. So any kind of job you go into is going to require a lot of time spent getting there. And for me, I wanted that to be in movies. And I also think that time is worth it because I'm passionate about making clean comedies that set a good example for kids. So I found that a lot of kid comedies make jokes out of kids behaving inappropriately, and then kids just see that and go, huh, that behavior was funny. That must mean that kind of behavior is good. And then parents have to spend weeks, months, or even years teaching their kids to unlearn the bad behaviors they learned from that show. And I had enough of that. I'm going to make a comedy that makes a good example by setting the jokes around the bad consequences that happen when kids disobey their parents. That's what I did with, as I said, the flipping role reversal where she now has to be the parent. And
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. So then the third reason is because I wanted to tell my own story. As I said, that is how I acted when I was 10 and 12. And I wanted to show kids that actually waiting till the last minute on all your work doesn't pay off. And in fact, makes your life harder and makes your parents, understandably, lose trust. And fourth reason I think it's worth going into film is that's what I feel was my life's purpose. That's what I feel God put me on this earth for, was to make those kinds of movies that are clean, set a good example, and I would hope that anyone going into filmmaking would like to do the same.
Great. Well, thank you for sharing that advice, and of course your film. Thank you all so much for your films, for sharing them with us.
Thank you.
The funny ones were super funny, and to our viewers, of course, thank you all. And this has been great. So be well, everyone.
And that is how it all went down.